So I have seen a lot of videos on the internet about people saying they lost their virginity to their best friend's cousin and that they do one night stands, aka sleep with people they never see again. And I want to give my perspective on this. Because most of those one night stands and things like that are playing out in the UK, LA, I guess Miami. But to me, who lives in Sweden, this is really a culture shock because while hookup culture does exist in Sweden, it is not as prevalent as it is in, I guess, the UK. Now, many people will have different experiences, but I am someone who has lived in Sweden most of my life, and I am not some incel. I have a social life. I used to be pretty much the cool kid in high school. I am not trying to brag here. I'm just trying to prove a point. And I have a history of clubbing, partying, and even taking substances. But I have never seen anyone do one night stands. However, I have heard stories of people doing that. How true those stories are, however, that I cannot verify. But you do hear people kind of being like, oh yeah, that friend of mine slept with a lot of people, but you don't really experience that yourself. And once again, I am not some incel. I believe everyone who is in a healthy relationship would admit I look decent and people I know in real life know I am an amazing cool guy, so anyone who would write in the comments, oh you look like an incel, are really incels themselves projecting their own failures in life. But this is why hookup culture does exist in Sweden, but it's not as prevalent as in the UK, for example. Because whenever I hear, for example, Hamza being like, when I was a sophomore in college, I used to be an F-boy, and it affected my mental health badly. I just cannot relate to that. And Hamza lives in the UK. And maybe it's the fact that I cannot relate to that because of cultural differences, but I simply cannot understand what is so good about it. Maybe if you are a virgin, you have this idea that the very concept of being intimate with someone is amazing. But as someone who has had the experience, not from one night stands, but from doing it whenever I was actually dating someone, I can tell you that the reason why sex is arguably the most amazing experience ever is because you are doing it with someone you love. But if you do it with a random person you feel nothing towards, you defeat the whole point of sex. And to anyone who still thinks the very concept of sex is amazing because of big words like climaxing and stuff, let me give you an impossible challenge. Try pleasuring yourself to your sister or brother. Try it. Because if you are a functioning human being, you are likely not gonna succeed in getting pleasured. Because we only want to pleasure ourselves to someone we are actually attracted to. The same thing goes for sex. So if you have casual sex with a random person you don't even know while being drunk, you're not gonna succeed in having an amazing experience. Because it's like trying to chop a tree without having an axe or a chainsaw. You just don't have the tools necessary for the action. And in this case, the tool required is attraction. So whenever I hear stories of people saying they lost their virginity to their best friend's cousin only so that they can brag to everyone that they are no longer a virgin, then those people are still a virgin in my book because they did not have the most amazing experience ever. But that's my view on it, you know?